Hi, my name's Alex Ferguson, and I'm from the United Kingdom. As far as I remember, I've always been into cars. My mum tells me a story about when she used to walk me to kindergarten, and I would name every car we walked by, to the point, not just what they were, but also the model. I've always been into cars. I first got into the car, I've always been into minis. I can't remember a time where I wasn't into minis. Minis was always the original Mini. I think it might have had some influence with Mr. Bean. I watched a lot of Mr. Bean growing up. My favourite movie was The Italian Job, the original, not the remake. And then I think it really kicked in when my next door neighbour bought one in Ireland. And I got a ride in it, and it was like this is it. I would love one of these, you know. I think it also has the meaning behind it is it's from the UK, and I haven't spent much time in the UK, living there. So it's kind of like a little taste of home. My favourite thing? Its size. I can park it in my one-car garage and park a second car in it. So car culture's I feel like the car culture's blowing up. With the internet, on social media, you can follow things that you specifically like, and you end up finding people online who are just into the same things that you are. And then with that, I find there's a huge rise in cars and coffee, or car meets in general, just on a regular Saturday morning or Sunday morning, depending where you are. I'd say, for example, I used to live in Atlanta, and the Caffeine and Octane was the car meet there, and it was this small meet up outside of town, up north. And then it got so big they outgrew that parking lot and ended up having to take over the mall parking lot near my place, which made it easier for me to get to Cars and Coffee. But they also started bringing in vendors and t-shirts and making a proper business. I think they even have a TV show now on Velocity. And I see the same thing happening here in Nashville with the Nashville Cars and Coffee. They're now growing to a stage where you've got vendors coming in and people actually seeing the niche market of car culture growing bigger than ever. I feel like it's getting bigger than ever. Just understand the passion we have for cars. I feel like that's the hardest thing for people to understand. That why would we spend all our earned money on something that is very easily going to break down or cost us more money, and it's really not a profitable game to be a part of. But for them, if you can understand that this is our own passion, that's the best thing. And then the other thing I'd mention is to take that 1% of car enthusiasts that drive recklessly and do burnouts and cause a bad rep for the whole lot of us. To remember that's just 1% of these people. There's a whole lot of other people that are way more respectful about their cars and the volume they produce or how nice they drive. To understand it's a community of people. So one thing I say, especially around here in Nashville, around Belmont even, as this religious background, is Cars and Coffee is my church. I'm not very religious myself, but I respect people who are religious, and for me, my church or my community is going to Cars and Coffee and hanging out with other people who share the same passion as I do.
I'm Christian Hyatt. I was born in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and I moved just about everywhere. I first got into cars when I was about 14 through my father. He had a lot of cars, and roughly around 14 he had just bought a brand new M5, and the M5 was the coolest thing in the world to me. And ever since then, I've traded cars since I was 16. My first car was a 2007 Mustang GT Premium California Special Edition. Had suicide doors, flames on the side. It was a really ricey car. Didn't look good at all, but it was my baby. I treated it like my baby. The car that I drive right now is a 2017 Nissan GTR, blaze metallic orange, directly behind me, and we call it Blazezilla. But I actually own a 2014 C7 Stingray that has had the engine being built for the past 4 months. The local car culture is very different from what I grew up around. You can find cars from exotic to absolutely crazy cars like rusted Volkswagens that have been built to crazy amount of horsepower, or you can go out and find a guy who loves a Mini Cooper and absolutely loves that Mini Cooper day in and day out. You have many cars around here. My favorite are all the muscle cars. I've always been a muscle car fan, but I always die over the exotics like every average person has. And the car culture around us has just always been different, and I've loved it since I moved into Tennessee. I wish everybody would take in consideration of the car culture around here, that no matter what car you have, as long as you love it and you enjoy what you're doing, don't care about what other people think about it. If you drive an old crazy car and you think that thing is an exotic in your opinion, then treat it like an exotic in your opinion. If you drive something ricey or something classic or something exotic or something American muscle, don't treat everybody else like you're better than them. In the car culture, it doesn't matter what car you have, just as long as you're enjoying it and having the same kind of passion as I do and everybody else does, then it's a good culture.